Hi and welcome to Teach the Table. I'm Nathan and this is Blood Rage. Each player represents a different Viking clan, trying to get the most points of glory for doing things like pillaging, winning battles, doing quests for the gods, or even dying valiantly in battle before Ragnarok destroys everything in its path. The game is played over 3 rounds, and at the end of the 3rd round, the player with the most glory points is the winner. Looking at the map, instead of the 9 worlds you're familiar with from Norse mythology, we have an island with 9 provinces. In the center is Yggdrasil, the tree that binds them all, and around that, the other provinces are broken up into 3 regions with these different colored borders, blue, yellow, and gray. Each province has a number of villages where a figure can be placed, and also there are 4 fjords around the map where you can place a boat to lend your support to both adjacent provinces. The number of villages limits how many figures can be in there, so 4 in this province, but in a fjord itself, unlimited number of boats can be there, and in Yggdrasil, an unlimited number of figures can be placed. Each province also has a token to indicate the reward for pillaging that area, as well as one province will have a doom token, which indicates where Ragnarok is going to occur next, eliminating that province from the game. Depending on the number of players that you're playing with, some provinces might already have the Ragnarok token there, and that means these areas have already been destroyed from the get-go, so they're not going to be in play at all. Each clan has 1 leader, which you can recognize as they carry a huge scepter, 8 warriors, which all function the same, and 1 ship. On your clan sheet, everyone starts out pretty basic, but there are 3 slots to upgrade your clan, as well as 1 slot each to upgrade your leader, your ship, and your warriors. There's also 2 slots here to upgrade monsters, which you can take control of by taking the monster, putting your base around it, and now it'll be yours. You also have some stats to upgrade. You'll be spending rage to do most of your actions, but keep in mind that when your rage is all the way down to 0, you can't even do the free actions anymore. Ergo, it will be important to upgrade how much rage you start each age with. You can upgrade your axes, which increases how much glory you get when you win a battle. And also important is upgrading your horns to increase how many figures you can have on the map at any one point in time. Also, at the end of the game, you can get 10 or 20 bonus glory for each track that you've upgraded to these slightly darker spots. As I mentioned, the game is played over 3 ages, each broken down into the 6 phases as seen on this tracking sheet. The first phase is the gods giving gifts to the players in the form of a deck of cards. Each player is dealt 8 cards, and they can take 1 of those cards to keep, then passing the remaining cards to the player on their left. In a 2-player game, each player keeps 2 cards at a time. That continues until everyone has chosen 6 cards to keep, and that will be your hand for this age. Any remaining cards are removed from the game. The cards could be various upgrades, quests from the gods, or bonuses for battle. Next is the action phase, where most of the game occurs. At the bottom of your clan sheet are the 5 actions that can be taken in the game. Beginning with the starting player who has this token, players will take turns clockwise around the table, doing only 1 action each turn, and paying the rage cost as they do so. This continues until either all players have 0 rage, or all the provinces have been pillaged. A player can also choose to just pass on their turn, in which case they just move their rage all the way down to 0 to indicate that they can't do any more actions. The first action is to invade, which means moving a figure from your reserves onto an empty village inside of a province. This costs rage equal to that figure's strength, which is located on your clan sheet. In this case, my leader has 3 strength, so it would cost 3 rage. You can't invade into Yggdrasil, since it's landlocked. We can only invade any of these areas on the coast. You can, however, march figures into Yggdrasil. Marching moves some or all of your figures from any one province into any one province for a cost of 1 rage, and they do not need to be adjacent. So I could have moved these guys all the way across the board. In this example, I moved 2 out of the 3 figures that I had in that province, but I could have moved all of them if I liked. But I could not have moved some of them from there and some from another province, and I also could not have moved these 2 into 2 separate provinces. Another action is upgrading, which lets you play one of your black upgrade cards, and it costs you rage equal to the strength of the card that you chose. If you're going to put one down and the slots are all full, you just need to discard one of your current upgrades to make room for it. There's no problem having 2 types of upgrades that give the same benefit, as long as you have slots for them. Those effects just add together. An amazing bonus for upgrading your leader, your warrior, or your ship is as long as you have them in your reserve, you can invade with them for free, getting to put them out on the board without paying any rage. Also, upgrading a monster lets you take that monster figure, attach your base to it to show that it's yours, and even monsters will get to invade for free when you first upgrade them. The quest action is a simple one, and it costs no rage. Simply take one of these green quest cards from your hand and put it face down on your character sheet. This indicates that you're trying to complete this quest by the end of this age, but there's no penalty if you don't fulfill it. Also, there's no limit on how many or what type of quests you can choose. The real meat of the game comes from pillaging, since we're Vikings after all. A successful pillage will grant the bonus that's on the token, sometimes upgrading a character stat or gaining glory, or in the case of Yggdrasil, upgrading all 3 character stats. To pillage a province, you need to have at least one figure in the province or just a ship in the nearby fjord, because a ship is considered to be in both provinces. And the province must still have a face-up pillage token, because after a successful pillage, that goes face down and it can't be pillaged again in this age. But choose carefully, because if there's enemies there with you, they're going to fight you to try to block that pillage. And enemies in adjacent provinces will have a chance to move in if there's any empty villages in there. If there's room for more figures in that province, each player starting to your left will have a chance to move one unit from an adjacent province into your targeted province. There's no rage cost to do so, and even players that have 0 rage at this point can still heed the call to battle. It's still a choice though, so the players get a choice and it goes around the table. If it comes back to you and there's still spots in there, you can even move one of your adjacent units in. This continues until there's no more room for any figures, or all players have passed and don't want to move in there. Also keep in mind that Yggdrasil can hold unlimited amounts of figures, and it's adjacent to all the provinces, so you need to be really careful pillaging that. If no enemy figures are in the province with you or an adjacent fjord, then your pillage is successful, so you gain the bonus and flip the token to indicate a successful pillage. Otherwise, a battle occurs. The winner of a battle is the clan with the highest strength involved in that province, but cards can also be played to influence the strength. These red cards are the battle cards. How this works is each player will simultaneously choose a card in secret, and they reveal simultaneously. Any revealed red battle cards are going to either add to the strength or have other effects on the battle, but any other cards that are revealed have no effect at all. As a side note, some card effects include words like cancel or discard, and it can be confusing as to which order those effects will happen. Just remember the alphabet. C-D-E, cancel, then discard, and then everything else. After each battling player's one card is revealed, there's also special cards that have a solid white disc on them, and it says it in the text of the card, but these can be played after the initial battle cards. If multiple battling players have them, then they're played in order starting with the pillaging player and going clockwise. Add up the strength of each player's figures in the province, including ships in nearby fjords, and add any remaining bonuses from cards, and the player with the highest strength wins. If there's a tie for the highest strength, then everyone loses. All the losing figures go to Valhalla, and the winner gets glory points based on where their axes stat is on their clan sheet. If the winner was the pillaging player, they gain the bonus on the token and flip over the token to indicate it's already been pillaged. If the pillager lost, it's still going to be open to be pillaged again later, but the fighting player does not automatically get to pillage it. They're going to have to take an action to pillage it. But it's not all bad, because the loser gets to take back any cards that they played towards that battle into their hand, whereas the cards the winner played are just going to go away. Once every player has 0 rage, or all areas are pillaged on the map, then the action phase is over, and players must discard down to only keeping one card that they can take with them to the next age. Obviously, in the 3rd age, all cards are going to be discarded, since that's going to be the end of the game coming up. Next is the quest phase, where players reveal the quests that they played on their clan sheet and gain glory and stats if they completed them. Most of these involve having the most strength in one region of the map, and that's calculated the same way as in battle, just with no cards involved. At the Ragnarok phase, the targeted province will get destroyed and removed from the map. Any figures that are there are going to get removed and sent to Valhalla. However, because they died gloriously from Ragnarok, each figure gets glory points as indicated on the tracking sheet. Next, the Doom token is going to get moved to the target of the next age's Ragnarok. The released Valhalla stage returns all dead figures back to their owner's reserves, and since this is the end of the age, flip all pillage tokens on the map back face up and pass the starting player token to the next player on the left. The new age will begin with even more powerful gifts from the gods being passed out. At this point, some people might be asking, but what about the ships? How do the ships move around the map? And the easy answer is that they don't. Once you invade with a ship by placing it in one of the fjords, it's going to stay there until the ship is possibly destroyed in battle. If it dies, it goes to Valhalla just like the rest of the figures, and then at the end of the age, when Valhalla is released, it can go back to the player. So then you can invade with it later into the same fjord or a different fjord, wherever you like. These steps repeat themselves until the end of the third age, at which point those bonuses are scored if clans upgraded their stats to the 4th, 5th, or 6th level. The player with the most victory points is the winner, and in the event of a tie, it's a shared victory. And that's all you need to know to play Blood Rage. Thanks for watching Teach the Table. I hope this was helpful to you. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you like, and I'll see you next time. As always, don't forget to have fun.